Hi everybody and welcome to today's vlog, and today I'm talking about upcycling. So obviously this is a sewing channel, so it's upcycling clothing involving some sewing, and this month there is a challenge to celebrate everything about upcycling. So I'm going to refer to my notes. I will drop these in, but I know it's sometimes tricky to see them on screen. So Upcycle 24, I think it's the third or maybe the fourth year that I've been involved in this challenge, and I'm going to run you through a couple of things that I've upcycled as well. So what's it about? It is to make a garment or a bag. So it's the first year you've been able to make a bag for yourself or somebody else, but no pet makes or anything like that. You can use something you've either got yourself or you've maybe thrifted, like curtains or a tablecloth or a duvet cover, or you can just dive into your wardrobe and take something that's ready to wear, or maybe something you've already made yourself, and then upcycle it into a garment or a bag. There is a work in progress hashtag that you can use on Instagram, which is, I'll put it on the screen, which is hashtag Upcycle24WIP, and then on the last day of the month, the 31st of October, to enter the challenge, you pop your pictures onto Instagram with the hashtag Upcycle24, and then just tag Becky from Notes to the Sewing Room or Karen from Sew Little Time into that. So I will drop some bits on the screen about that, and I'll drop the pictures, but in essence that's the challenge. So I struggle with Upcycle challenge, not because I don't like the challenge, but because actually it's something that's in my head all of the time. So if you're a regular to my channel, you'll see me do this quite often. I quite often take something and just think, oh, I'm not wearing that, what can I make out of it instead? So over previous years I've talked about taking a jersey dress and changing it into a t-shirt and making a t-shirt and things. There was something that I saw, which is in TU, the Sainsbury's clothing range in the UK. I'll pop a picture on the screen. I don't know how well they'll come out. They were literally me just snapping. But these, when I went over to them, I thought that they were a dress made out of the same fabric. But the top is in jersey and the bottom is a gathered skirt in woven, but because they're exactly the same colour, it looks exactly the same. But I did think, you know, we do that for kids' clothes, don't we? Put like a jersey top onto a woven bottom. So, you know, you could mix and match and do that kind of thing as well. So that's an option. You know, if you've got a dress that you're not enjoying, you could turn the bottom of it either into a skirt and make a t-shirt to go with it, maybe out of some scraps that you've got, or make a little top to go with it instead of a dress. But the dress I'm wearing today, and the one that was in my thumbnail, is one that I've kind of upcycled, although it didn't have long, in fact it never made it into my wardrobe. And now in the past I've had a tendency, if that happens, and I'm lucky it doesn't happen to me very often, that if I've made something and I've not liked it, or it's just not been me, I've kind of gone, oh, just bin it. Where I try to kind of look at it as fabric now and think, well, rather than just bin it, what else could I do with it? Like make a tote bag out of the fabric and gift it to somebody as a present or something like that. With this one, I don't have a before picture, and that is something you do need to do to participate in the challenge. You need to show what it looked like before and what it looks like after the upcycling, because it was just a no from the go. So this fabric was from Boys Fabrics in the UK, which aren't online, but there are lots of stores in the north of England. It's a viscose, and it was a bit of a trial for a new pattern that I was making from Fibre Mood, and I'll drop the pattern in. There's nothing wrong with the pattern, it just didn't work for me. I use a lot of Fibre Mood patterns, and it had a yoke that came round here, and it just didn't finish in the right place for me, and I didn't get as far, I don't think, as putting the sleeves in. Maybe I did, I can't remember now. But when I just tried it on for that first fit, I was just like, no. And this was £4.99 a metre, which is dear enough, but it's not mega expensive, so it would have been quite easily to go, but I thought, right, I'm never going to wear this, so there's no point continuing to make it, but what else could I upcycle it into? So this is actually the flare dress from Fabric Godmother. I'll pop a picture in of it, and I have made this before, and I'll come to that one, but this is my second one, and it's hard to see because it's such a busy fabric, but it usually has 3 ties. It's that garny type of blouse that's, or dress that's in at the moment. But what I decided to do with it, and hopefully you might be able to see as I stand up, is I've done buttons. I've put these big buttons on, one here, and then I've just done one tie at the top. So it's not as tie. Does that make sense? Because I do really love that look, but I'm also aware at some point that fashion and trends will move away from that look as well. So in all honesty, I could even do this just without the tie and put another button on the top there as well. I can just to say get this over my head without unfastening it. So it would be very easy just to do that, and I've not even done the buttonholes, I've just stitched them on. So it did take a bit of skullduggery with the fabric. Luckily I still had some scraps left, but I used everything apart from a little bit of the yoke. In fact, I might still have it here. So there's my proof. That was the back of the yoke, and I'd done a lovely label, Little Rosy Cheeks label on the inside and the outside, and I think that's pretty much all that's left out of that whole dress that I was going to do. So I'm really pleased with it. I've been to work this morning, I've had it on at work. Maybe slightly shorter, and it's not as full in the skirt as the actual pattern. I've still not done the actual skirt pattern yet, because the next one I'm going to show you was also an upcycle to try out the pattern. So this is also the Fabric Godmother flare dress, and this used to be a Tilly and the Buttons indigo dress. This fabric gets a lot of, I really love that fabric, and people don't realise, it was from AliExpress. Now, it's not, it does feel like a lawn. I think it might be written up as a cotton poplin, and I've shared it before, but it's a Hello Kitty fabric and I absolutely adore it. So if I hold it up and move it around, hopefully you can see all the different Hello Kitties that are in it. And you can get it in a couple of different colourways, but people don't realise till they get up close that it's got Hello Kitty in it. In fact, it's so hard to see it that only when this was an indigo dress for quite a while, and then I decided to revisit it, and it was only when I revisited it, attached the top and started to wear it, that I realised that not in the ruffle and not in the top, but in the actual skirt part, the main bigger Hello Kitties are upside down. But there's only us that knows that. Nobody else knows that, so shh, don't say anything. So this was my first go at the flare dress, and I think I had, I don't know, maybe about 3/4 metre say left of the fabric, just to say I had enough to get the bodice out of it and make the ties. I think I repurposed the indigo, certainly the skirt part and the ruffle. I think I might have repurposed most of the bodice actually to get maybe the front panels. I can't remember now. I have done a vlog on it, but I used the existing bodice and repurposed that, and then used the extra, I think, for the sleeves. And I adore the flare sleeves. They are just the right length for me, just the right volume, perfect. And this one's got the 3 ties, and this pattern does have that little sort of privacy layer that tucks underneath there. So I don't really like things with buttons that can be a bit gapey, and it keeps everything where it's meant to be and nobody can see it. So yeah, that's probably the, I'm trying to think, I think I've done 4 different dresses where I've upcycled them recently. Another one that I've done, which I'm going to share, should be able to get some after pictures, was the So Hayley Jane dress in pale blue with flowers on from a couple of years ago that I made a shared dress out of, front and back. I just wasn't reaching for it, and I had a little bit of that fabric left, and I managed to repurpose that into a fibre mood Judy dress. So again, it doesn't have quite the fullness of the skirt, and it doesn't have the curve. The front of the Judy is curved like that and then goes up. I just did it flat. I've just sort of, you know, looked at the patterns and hacked them where I've needed to, moved the fabric around and just made it fit. And then this one, I think it's suitable for so upcycling. So this was a top in this Minerva Viscose exclusive that I made last year, which is a dressmaker's closet blouse, and it's quite drapey, and it looks so cute with when I see people wearing it with jeans, but I just wasn't reaching for it because I don't really wear sort of fitted jeans or anything like that. So I decided to keep it because I really liked it, but just added a skirt onto the bottom of it, did an elastic casing, and now I love it. It's a great dress. I've made some pants out of this fabric as well. So it's a viscose chalice and it's called Animal Glow, and it is still available at Minerva. So I will link that in the description box below. Anything I can link pattern or fabric wise, I will pop a link in. And yeah, I've worn this quite a lot. I've not worn it so much in summer, but now we're heading into autumn. This looks great with some black tights or leggings and some and my Doc Martens. So that's just kind of a little bit about how I upcycle things that I've already got, really. And I do that fairly regularly. I think it's a bit of how my mind works. If you're a regular to my channel, you'll know that my brain kind of, I never just get a new pattern and think of the pattern. My brain is all immediately going, I wonder what that would just be like if I popped those sleeves in. I wonder what that would be like if I added a skirt onto it. And I don't know what it is. I've got a funny old brain. It does that all the time. But I think that's just how I work. But certainly, and I've got a tote bag pattern here. This is a McCall's one that I've made recently. So because the challenge is about also upcycling things into bags, you know, fabric that you've got left on the shelf, or I don't know, anything, pillowcases you could use to line it. You could certainly, I think the challenge has expanded because you're able to put bags in now, so there's definitely things that you can do around that. Denim and jeans pockets will be fabulous. You know, anything like that you can just stitch some pieces of denim together. That's how I think about fabric. It ceases to be a garment anymore, and it just becomes fabric. So I just think, right, let's cut up that seam, let's snip that, let's join that together. What can I create out of it? So get your thinking caps on, guys. Dive into your stash, your drawers, your charity shop, wherever it is, and get upcycling. And I'm really interested to see what everybody creates. So I'll be tuned into Instagram on the 31st of October. So that's it from me. Enjoy the challenge, enjoy some upcycling. I hope you're inspired to have a little go, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye for now.